New York Giants fans, I don't know about you, but it feels like the foundation of our defensive line has been completely shaken after trading away Dexter Lawrence. We now have a confirmed solution with the signing of veteran defensive lineman DJ Reader to a 2-year deal to fill that massive void in the middle of our trenches. Replacing a generational talent is a nightmare, but bringing in a grizzled pro with Reader's track record of stopping the run is exactly what this abysmal unit needs to survive. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city in the comments because we are a brand new channel pushing toward our first 500 subscribers, and every single person who joins this community helps us keep going. Let's get into it. The New York Giants have officially signed veteran defensive lineman DJ Reader to a 2-year contract, a move designed to stabilize the middle of our trenches following the departure of Dexter Lawrence. After Lawrence was traded to the Cincinnati Bengals before the draft, our defense faced a massive void that needed immediate attention. Signing the 11-year veteran brings a physically grizzled presence to East Rutherford, as the 6'3", 330-pound Clemson product has consistently posted run defense grades above 73.1 throughout his lengthy career. For us, this news hits hard because Lawrence was the heart of our defense, and seeing him leave was a painful blow to the collective spirit of the fan base. We finished the 2025 season dead last in average yards per carry and 31st in total rushing yardage allowed, making the arrival of a proven run-stuffer like Reader feel like a necessary, if bittersweet, course correction. What makes this even bigger is that Reader will be tasked with mentoring a young, untested group of linemen while trying to replicate the high-level impact and defensive respect that his predecessor commanded. The contract is worth $12.5 million total, featuring $5.25 million in guarantees and a $2.5 million signing bonus to secure his services through 2026. While his stats last season, including 20 total pressures and 30 tackles, show he remains an efficient force, the real question for this organization remains how he will hold up against the punishing rushing attacks that consistently carved us up on first down last fall. With such a significant portion of our cap tied up in this veteran, we have to wonder if his experience is truly enough to prevent a repeat of those disastrous defensive breakdowns in the A and B gaps. We must now look at the specific scheme adjustments required to make this heavy-hitting gamble pay off for the upcoming season. The most shocking reality facing our defensive front is that we are paying DJ Reader a total of $12.5 million over 2 years just to stabilize a unit that fell to dead last in the league at stopping the run. This move materialized because the front office was forced into a corner after trading our franchise cornerstone to the Cincinnati Bengals, leaving an enormous void in the middle of our defensive line that threatened to ruin John Harbaugh's inaugural season. We are looking at a veteran who has navigated 11 NFL seasons, including his recent year with the Detroit Lions, where he logged a position-high 583 defensive snaps while maintaining an efficient 6.5% missed tackle rate. Historically, our team has struggled to replace iconic anchors, and while this signing lacks the long-term security we once had, it is a pragmatic insurance policy designed to prevent the embarrassment of surrendering over 1,150 rushing yards on first down alone as we did throughout the 2025 campaign. And honestly, Joe Schoen is likely betting that Reader's veteran presence provides the necessary buffer for our younger, untested draft picks to develop without the crushing pressure of being immediate stars. Behind closed doors, the coaching staff knows that if we cannot fix the interior gaps, Dennard Wilson's entire defensive scheme will crumble against physical opponents like the Washington Commanders or the Philadelphia Eagles, who thrive on punishing the trenches. By securing a player who posted 20 total pressures and avoided costly penalties last year, the organization is attempting to regain some level of respectability. We need Reader to be exactly the reliable, grizzled professional he has been his entire career, as we simply cannot afford another season of ranking 31st in total rushing yardage allowed while trying to build a new identity for this defensive core. Filling the void left by Dexter Lawrence is the defining challenge of our season, as we simply cannot afford another year of watching opposing rushers walk through the heart of our defense. The signing of DJ Reader to a 2-year, $12.5 million deal is a calculated move to stabilize the trenches while managing a $3.5 million dead money risk if things go sideways. Bringing in a player with 11 seasons of experience provides a necessary mentor for our younger defensive linemen, shifting the burden off untested prospects who are now forced to grow up fast. What nobody is talking about is how this move specifically dictates our success against the run-heavy schemes we face within the NFC East. By plugging his 330-pound frame into those crucial A and B gaps, we aim to reverse the abysmal performance from 2025, when we allowed over 5 yards per attempt on first downs. If we can neutralize the early down ground game, our defense gains the flexibility to dictate tempo rather than constantly chasing the scoreboard. This improvement is critical for our playoff viability, as we have to contain the physical rushing attacks of our divisional opponents to keep our secondary from being overwhelmed by passing situations. With John Harbaugh now at the helm, the demand for discipline and gap integrity is higher than ever. Reeder must translate his 72.6 pass rushing grade and veteran savvy into immediate production to keep us competitive in a crowded conference race. Securing our interior line is the only path toward climbing out of the league basement, and while we miss the presence of our former star, this experienced addition provides the reliability required to stop the bleeding. If Reeder can replicate his recent efficiency, we finally have a fighting chance to turn our defensive reputation around before the midseason grind begins in earnest. The Giants made a calculated gamble by bringing in DJ Reeder to stabilize a defensive front that struggled mightily last year. The strongest argument for this signing is the immediate infusion of veteran reliability and proven run-stuffing capability into a unit that finished 31st in total rushing yardage allowed. Reeder brings 11 years of experience and a track record of high efficiency, evidenced by his 6.5% missed tackle rate last season and his ability to command space in the A and B gaps. And I cannot stress this enough, we desperately needed someone who can stop the bleeding on early downs to allow our secondary to thrive. However, the obvious downside is that we are replacing a younger generational talent with a player likely past his prime, and the salary cap implications mean we have little financial flexibility if he suffers a significant injury. While the market is buzzing about the impact of veteran leaders like Reeder or potential alternatives such as the depth pieces once considered during the draft, many analysts are questioning if one man can truly replace the sheer force we lost. My honest take here is that the hype surrounding his pass rushing stats is slightly overblown given his age, but his fundamental role as a gap clogger is exactly what John Harbaugh needs to install discipline in the trenches. The sheer reliance on a 330-pound veteran to carry this load is a heavy burden, yet it remains the most logical path toward fixing our abysmal 5.04 yards per attempt average, allowed on first downs. We are betting that his wisdom and technique will compensate for the inevitable loss of athleticism, turning a disastrous run defense into a respectable unit. The arrival of DJ Reeder marks a pivotal strategic shift for the New York Giants as we navigate life after Dexter Lawrence. While losing a cornerstone player is never easy for us fans, signing a veteran like Reeder shows that General Manager Joe Schoen is committed to stabilizing our front seven rather than entering a total rebuild. This move signals a broader commitment to building a defensive identity rooted in experience and gap integrity under head coach John Harbaugh. And I'll be straight with you, this team simply cannot afford another season of ranking dead last in run defense if we hope to remain competitive in the NFC East. Reeder brings a decade of reliable production and a physical presence that we desperately need to clog the A and B gaps. You should feel a sense of cautious optimism heading into the season because while we are replacing a superstar, we are gaining a professional who understands exactly how to shut down opposing ground games with consistency. The transition from a younger, explosive core to a disciplined, veteran-led unit is a necessary evolution for our long-term trajectory. His track record of limiting missed tackles and providing a pass rush from the interior will provide the defensive backfield the breathing room they lacked last fall. Having a mentor like Reeder to guide our younger, untested defensive linemen is an intangible asset that will pay dividends as the season wears on and the pressure mounts. With the 2026 season fast approaching, do you believe DJ Reeder will provide enough run-stopping impact to help us climb out of the defensive basement?